This falls squarely on the U.S. leadership, Fed Chair, President, Treasury Secretary. You have to take drastic measures to get out of shoal water ASAP so you do not ground the ship, i.e. our economy. I love that. Maybe you can get a picture of a ship with President Biden and Fed Chair Powell on top of the ship, driving the ship, and they're going right. You can have them driving the ship in a harbor, all right, and then they're going right into shoal water. You know, I don't know if you can do that. It'd be fucking really cool if you could. Oh, baby! Larry Gonzales with the Mortgage Market Minute. I picked a bad week to stop sniffing glue. And there's so much stuff going on. Oh my gosh. I'm going to talk today about our economy, and I'm going to talk about our housing market. They are intertwined, they are connected, and so much is happening this week. Let's get right to it. But before I do, please like, comment, or subscribe. Let's talk about some housing reports that came out. Actually, you know what? Screw that. We're gonna go right into the Fed, because that's what everybody's talking about. No surprise, the Fed raised the Fed funds rate by 75 basis points. At the beginning of the year, we were at near zero, all right, with our Fed funds rate. Now we are between 2.25 and 2.5%, right? This is the highest that it's been since 2018. What is going on here? Well, the Fed chair, I think maybe he has been sniffing glue, as has the president.
If it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Because they both seem to think that we are not in a recession or going into a recession. Through their words, matter of fact, it sounds like the Treasury Secretary is trying to redefine what a recession is, make the story fit the narrative. But let me tell you, think of President Biden and Fed Chair Powell driving the ship. The ship is the United States economy, all right? And they're in a channel, all right? And they got shoal water, which is not good water, and then they got the rocks, all right, where they're gonna ground the ship, all right? So these guys are driving the ship, all right? And you have all of these lines of position. You position the ship in a channel based on the lines of positions. You take bearings off of different points to get your positions. The more points that you can cross, the more accurate you can get the position of your ship, or determine the position of your ship. All right, so let's look at some of the lines of positions. Energy prices through the roof, still very, very high. You have the 10-year, the delta between the 10-year and the 2-year Treasury yield, all right? The 2 years, the delta is at least 25 basis points, probably higher now, all right? And that is a leading indicator of us going into a recession. So there's another line of position. You have, let's talk about Walmart. Walmart had a really bad report that came out. People aren't spending money. They're not going out and buying stuff. Matter of fact, there's a fire sale at Walmart. If you don't go to Walmart, they got a lot of stuff on sale, all right? And that was not very good news for the rest of the retail industry. So that's another line of position. And then you look at jobless claims, all right? For the 4th week in a row, we had jobless claims increase, all right? And it went above 250,000. If you look on the chart, and hopefully I can show that. If you look on the chart, all right, for unemployment rate, when the unemployment rate reaches its low and starts to go up, you immediately fall into a recession. So those are 4 lines of positions, all right? Our economy, our ship is squarely in shoal water, all right? And when you're in shoal water, you have to take drastic measures to get out of shoal water ASAP so you do not ground the ship, i.e. our economy. 25 basis points, I don't think that's enough, all right? And because here's the thing, the Fed's not gonna meet again until September, all right? Hopefully, inflation numbers will start coming down. And I've been saying all along, September, October is when I think we'll start to see inflation start to abate, but we don't know yet. But everything right now is pointing us towards recession. So, not really, and here's the other thing that leads me to believe that that the Fed is just not taking enough. They are playing the victim here. All right, we're blaming. Oh, we got Russia, Ukraine. Yeah, Russia, Ukraine. But our inflation was up before Russia invaded Ukraine. That is not it. Energy prices. You can't blame the fuel industry or the oil industry. All right, these things have already. You can't blame China. All right, China has some say in this because of their reaction to COVID, but this falls squarely on the U.S. leadership. All right, Fed chair, president, Treasury secretary. All right, so to me, they missed the mark today. Stock market loved it. All right, because I don't think there was any surprise in what the Fed chair said, but overall, I think that was a bad decision. And so what does that affect though? I hear a lot of people say, oh my God, interest rates just raised 75 basis points, 3/4 of a point. Not so fast, shipmate. All right, there's about 4 or 5 things that affect. It affects credit cards. All right, your credit card interest rate is going to go up. These are short-term loans. So credit cards, auto loans are going to go up. It's actually probably pretty good for the auto industry because right now, there aren't any cars. All right, there aren't. So fewer people are going to be buying cars. So that should help with auto prices, or certainly getting people the ability. Maybe I'll be able to buy the truck that I want to buy. We'll see. ARMs, adjustable rate mortgages. So yes, those mortgages are going to be affected because those are more related to the Fed funds rate. HELOCs, home equity line of credits, those rates will go up as well, as will student loan interest rates. So that's what those affect, not mortgage rates. Matter of fact, again, they're bringing up the Fed funds rate to lower inflation. Their goal is to get down to 2%. We're at 9.1. Once inflation starts to go down, you will see interest rates improve. And actually, interest rates have kind of come down from last week. So we're in a good position. We're not in the 6s for interest rates, guys. That's kind of what we got going on with the economy. I'm talking before the first look at the second quarter. The first look at the second quarter for gross domestic product comes out on Thursday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, guys. We had 3 big reports come out so far this week on housing. Pending home sales. Ooh, that was a stinker. Solid May. We had a great May for pending home sales. June, not so much. All right, we actually had a real stinker. We were expecting a slight decrease in pending home sales. We actually dropped 8.6% in pending home sales for the month of June. Again, this is all old news. July, and based on what I'm seeing, July will probably be about as bad. So not a very good pending home sales report. Mortgage application, lowest rate of mortgage loan applications in 22 years. They're actually 2% lower, almost 2% lower week over week from the previous week. So not very good for people applying for loans. The new home sales report. All right, new home sales were down as well. All right, June was kind of a slap in the face, almost a greater than 8% drop in new home sales and less than 600,000 new homes sold. A lot of this has to do, there are just fewer homes on the market. Again, you have so many homes that are under contract that haven't even started. They haven't completed, they haven't even started construction. So that's just not a very solid report. But we did get one report, and that was good. It was a Case-Shiller Home Price Appreciation Index. All right, that is a gold standard for appreciation across the nation. It actually did drop from 20 to 19.7%, just over 20 to 19.7%. And this is for the month of May. So old news, it takes them a while to get the news out. But still, appreciation. It actually month over month dropped down from 2.2%, I believe, down to 1.5% month over month appreciation. The cities that are leading are Tampa, Miami, and Dallas for month over month appreciation. Although it's kind of interesting, I just read an article that said people are leaving Tampa because the affordability, they're selling their homes and are looking elsewhere because the affordability of homes in Tampa has gone down because the home prices have gone up so much. You're talking over 30% appreciation year over year, and that's a lot. You know, so that is that's kind of that report there. Again, not a bad report. You know, homes are not depreciating. It's just the rate of appreciation has slowed down, and the expectation is that for the year, our appreciation will be there. The National Association of Realtors is saying low double digits, so maybe 12%. That sounds about right. I'll be a little more pessimistic. I think it'll be in high single digits. That's kind of what we got for the week. A lot of news. Don't let the bad news get you down. I hope I didn't sound too negative. I'm negative with the people who are running our country and making the monetary policy. Not happy with what they're doing. I don't think they're doing enough. That's all I have for you this week. Have a great weekend. And as always, like, comment, subscribe. Man, hit me up with some questions. I love it when I get questions. All right. Aloha.